right, thank you. And excuse me, ma'am, you heard the plea that your attorney placed on the record, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And excuse me. As to the allegations, ma'am, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And you've gone over your advice of rights for probation violation purposes, correct?
Correct.
And you understand all of those rights?
Yes.
And you also understand that by entering into a plea, you'll be waiving some of those rights, specifically your right to a contested hearing.
Correct.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. And excuse me, you also understand the possible penalty as a result of your plea, whether in this court, any other court, or if you're on any other probation, and that the recommendation in this court specifically is for you to continue and complete all terms of probation, pay a $50 probation violation fee, 30 days on the alcohol tether after 10 days jail, and continue your testing. Do you understand that's the recommendation?
Yes.
And knowing all that, do you still want to continue with your plea?
Yes.
Has anybody promised you anything, threatened you, or coerced you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No.
All right, counsel, if you can please go to your client.
Sure. Ms. Pettinato, are you currently on probation through the Wyandotte District Court?
Yes.
Was that yes, Ms. Pettinato?
Yes.
Okay. As a term and condition of your probation, are you to not test positive for any drugs or alcohol?
Yes.
Did you in fact test positive for alcohol on September 4th of this year?
I did.
And you understand that that's a direct violation of your probation?
I do.
Okay. Did you additionally fail to submit to a drug test as ordered on September 16th of this year?
Yes.
And you understand that that's a direct violation of your probation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Satisfied.
All right, the court is also satisfied that the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court does find the probation violation is found based upon your client's plea of guilty, and that would be technical violations 1 and 2. And counsel, as to the recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. I would simply just be asking for leniency on behalf of Ms. Pettinato. This is her first violation. She's extremely apologetic after speaking with her at length. She does understand the importance of not only her sobriety, but to make sure that she attends every single test. She hasn't had any violations since. She's made every test since then with no positive results. I would like you to know that she is gainfully employed full-time. She's gotten back on track. Moving forward, Judge, I truly don't believe this is going to be an issue again. So I would just respectfully request consideration to suspend the jail time and set this for a jail.
Ma'am?
Yes.
One of the conditions of your probation was mandatory jail for any violation. Your matter was reduced from a felony down to a misdemeanor. And yet here we are, 2 violations within the first month of being on probation. One of those violations came a week after you were sentenced, and the other one came about a week and a half after that. So why didn't you show up for your drug test on September 16th?
I did show up, but the facility was closed. I got caught by a train and I just missed the cutoff time of them closing. But I did show up to that one. The prior one to where I tested positive for alcohol, I was at a wedding prior to that, and it slipped my mind about the bond violation, and I had like 3 margaritas.
Ma'am, you were just placed on probation. How does that slip your mind?
No, at that
No,
time,
it was prior
It
to
was
being put on
prior.
probation.
it was the weekend before she was sentenced, but she was on bond. I did explain that to her. She understands it. She's not trying to make excuses by any means. She
No, I'm
just
explaining.
she was confused as to the difference between bond and probation.
I've never been on probation or anything before, and I've never had any drug charges, so this is all new to me.
Well, maybe perhaps one of the reasons you haven't been on probation before is because there are 6 warrants out for your arrest, ma'am, that you have failed to show up to court on to properly adjudicate your matter.
Well, I don't drive, and I'm not giving excuses, but those are, 4 hours away, and I don't live up there anymore. But I understand.
Ma'am, it doesn't mean you don't need to take care
No,
of
I
those.
completely understand.
There's a felony for illegal use of credit card. There's a misdemeanor. Okay, so that felony is out of Manistee. There's a misdemeanor out of Ludington. It's a traffic offense.
Right, I understand, and I know what they are.
Another matter out of Manistee for insufficient funds, check fraud.
Correct. I understand that, ma'am. And like I said, I've never had any drug charges in my life. This is all new to me. I'm learning as I go. It's a learning process for me. I am sincerely apologetic for this, but I'm learning. I have been in a Suboxone clinic for a year. I'm learning.
There's also another one out of Manistee from 2022 regarding failure to appear for a show cause. So there's a bench warrant issued. And there's also one out of Lincoln Park.
For Lincoln Park?
Yes, ma'am, for misdemeanor obstructing a criminal investigation.
I have no idea about that one.
It's from 2020, January of 2020.
I have no idea.
So it may be something from the end of 2019.
Yeah, I have no idea. I paid my fines and all that for that. It was a traffic violation.
And obstructing a criminal investigation is not a traffic.
Okay, honestly, I don't know what that one is. I've never heard of anything. I've never gotten a piece of mail about it or anything.
Okay, well, ma'am, I just informed you as to where all those warrants are.
I will find out. Yes, I will find out.
All right, well, the court's going to state the following. This court's order at the date of your sentencing was mandatory jail for any violation, and we have 2. And so the court is going to state that it's going to adopt the recommendation to continue and complete all terms of probation, $50 probation violation fee, 10 days jail, continue your testing, and 30 days on the alcohol tether after your release. And ma'am, just for the record, when was the wedding that you stated you attended?
It was that Saturday before I got sentenced. I don't have my calendar.
So that would have been August 26th.
Correct.
Because you were sentenced on August 30th.
Correct.
Okay, I am guaranteeing you, ma'am, that you're not being honest with this court, because it would not have still shown up in your system on September 4th test.
I don't drink, ma'am. That was the only time I drank. And that's I just told the council. I was drug tested for 3 days after that one on the 4th from my doctor, and none of that was in my system. I don't drink. I don't understand this.
And ma'am, do you work?
I work full time. I have pets at home. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have nobody here to take care of anything.
Excuse me, what are your hours?
I'm sorry.
What hours do you work?
They vary. I'm a waitress.
Okay. So on the 16th, when you didn't show up for your testing, right? If you're waiting until you didn't show up on time.
Correct. I got caught by a train.
Okay. So then you should go in the morning so that you don't have that issue any further.
I did. That's the only time you can go on the weekends. It's in the morning, and that's when I went, and I missed the cutoff time because of the train.
Okay, ma'am, knowing that there's that opportunity for delay because of the train, then you need to plan accordingly.
I did, ma'am.
Okay, so ma'am, I will give you until tomorrow to report. You can make arrangements for your pets.
And what about my job? What do I do? I work all week. I'm gonna lose my job.
I will give you until Friday to report. That ma'am, you had adequate warning as to what the consequences were if you violated probation. That was part of your probation order. Your report Friday, October 6th.
I work through the weekend. Can you do it till Monday?
No, ma'am, I'm giving you consideration.
I understand, but I work Saturday and Sunday. I have rent to pay.
Somebody else covered. Friday is when you have to report. Email into Ms. Shaw and she will get you that information. Anything else, counsel?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, just so you're aware, so there isn't any confusion, there's, you'll also have a 30 days on the alcohol tether upon your release. All right, email into Ms. Shaw by 9:40. Ms. Petnato?
I heard you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you did. I didn't hear a response.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, let's go off the record. 232155. And appearance, counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Portland appearing on behalf of Mr. Stanley. Mr. Stanley, would you please state your full name for the record?
Thanks, Darrell Stanley.
All right, thank you. And today is the arraignment as your client is in custody. And counsel?
That's correct, Judge. At this time, we are prepared to waive a formal reading and my client stands mute.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with your audio, but some of your words are not coming through for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, the court will waive the formal reading, enter a plea of not guilty for purposes of the arraignment, and schedule this matter for pretrial on October 10th at 9 a.m. And counsel as to bond.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like you to know that Mr. Stanley does not have any prior assaultive criminal history. He has no pending matters at this time. He's not currently on probation or parole. I did ask him if he were tested today, would he test positive for any drugs or alcohol, and he assured me that he would test clean for everything. After speaking with him at length, he did assure me that he would be appearing at all future court dates. He has no history of absconding. I did see on his register of actions that he had a Taylor address. He actually lives locally in Wyandotte. I'm not going to give the address or his telephone number live Zoom.
So I have his new address, so I can make the, it's on his advice of rights and documentation, so.
Okay, very good. So taking that all into account, Judge, I would simply ask for consideration for a personal bond on behalf of Mr. Stanley.
Mr. Stanley, you're not currently on probation for your matter out of the 28th District Court?
No.
Did you resolve that matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how did you resolve that matter? Did you
I
serve jail
did.
time?
I served and I completed a tether process, which I completed, Your Honor.
Okay. And is that noise coming from outside the door there, sir?
I think there's somebody talking behind him.
There's a detective talking behind me, Your Honor.
Yeah, because I kept overhearing that too when I was.
Okay, all right. I was wondering what was pulling from that. Okay. So, Mr. Stanley, how long have you been in Wyandotte?
Almost approximately a year. I didn't plan on staying as long as I have. I've been looking to move.
Okay, well, sir, you haven't changed your address or anything with the Secretary of State either. So, and hold on a minute. Were you on probation in this court too, sir? Hold on.
No, no, I just was on tether, which I completed, and I'm clear of all that.
Hold on. I need to pull some of these cases because I show 1, 2, 3 other cases from Wyandotte here with notices to appear. So we're going to go off the record for a moment, and I'm going to pull these files up, counsel.
No problem, Judge.
All right. Where we call the matter of Daryl Stanley. Okay. And so I pulled the files, and Mr. Stanley on November 15th of 22 was sentenced to 60 days jail on his public intox. Or sorry, that one was dismissed. Open alcohol was pled to. The court sentenced him to 60 days jail on that. And then August 2nd, he was sentenced to 45 days jail, credit for 27 days. 45 days on the alcohol tether upon release for public intox. And then on August 2nd, also 45 days jail, credit for 27 days, with 45 days on the alcohol tether upon release for open alcohol. And I have not reviewed the report, but I'm going to just take a stab in the dark and guess that perhaps there was some alcohol involved, but I don't know. I'll take a look at that. Mr. Houston, I'm sorry, do you work? You're muted. Hold on, you're muted. Okay, Mr. Stanley, do you work?
Yeah, I'm currently helping out my uncle with some stuff, but I'm currently looking for new employment as well.
And what does your uncle do?
I'm just helping him work on his house right now. He needed help. He has property he needs help with.
And when's the last time that you were employed, sir?
Before my last before I served jail time last time here, I was employed.
Okay, and so you currently have an alcohol tether on?
What's that?
Do you still have an alcohol tether on at this point?
Did that? No, no, ma'am, I
What's
completed
that?
that. No, Your Honor, I completed, I don't no longer have that. I completed the alcohol tether time.
When did you have the tether removed, sir?
I believe it was September 24th.
Okay, well, maybe I need to go back to school because my calculations show that you should still have the tether on.
I had it removed. I think it was about the 24th was when it.
When
was
were you
scheduled.
released from jail? When were you released from jail, sir?
I don't recall the date. No.
All right, well,
But I had the alcohol tether on for my 45 days, and the tether obviously removed it for me.
okay, so the balance of what you should have been serving was 18 days. Then that would have put you until August 19th. Then 45 days on the alcohol tether. So that would have been put you at Wednesday, October 4th.
When did you get my release? You got out earlier than that.
That's why I was asking, when were you released?
What was your date that you counted that from?
I'm sorry?
What was the date that you said I was supposed to be released? Because I was released earlier than that.
August 19th, because on August 2nd, I sentenced you to 45 days jail, credit for 27 days, which then was another 18 days that you were supposed to have served.
I want to say I was released maybe the 8th, August 8th or 9th or something. But I was released, and then, I was in communication with my tether agent, and he told me when to come on down and take it off. I believe it was the 24th. But it was the correct.
Well, I'm glad to see that the jail is following the court orders with how long individuals should be in custody. Sir, if you were to testate, what's in your system?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, the court will note defendant's criminal history, and in this court alone, he has had 3 convictions within the last 11 months. He has another conviction in the 28th District Court within that same 11 months. And so the court is going to order a $7,500 10% bond. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless they're prescribed in the event you post bond. And GPS and alcohol tether prior to any release. And in the event you release, sir, you are to submit 25 job applications per week. All right, anything else?
I just had a question on the bond, Your Honor.
Yes.
And can I please have a personal bond, Your Honor?
No, sir, I just stated the reasons why. Oops, this goes in there too. The reasons why this court set it at a cash bond.
The 10% of 7,500.
10% of that. Sir, within the last 10 months, you have 4 criminal convictions. 4. And now you're back here again for a 5th court case. In addition to making sure you are appearing in public, the court also, or you're appearing in court, the court also needs to ensure the safety of the public. Therefore, the court has indicated that maybe at a monetary bond amount, there will not be any issues, along with the tether provisions as well.
I won't be able to post bond, Your Honor.
Okay, then we will see you on the 10th.
You could always have a bail bond.
Through the jail.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything else? Thank you. Have a good day. Okay. And then, I'm sorry, what's that?
Corey, may I speak to you real quickly, please, Corey?
Judge, could we have a breakout room?
Yes, let's go off the record. All right, you can go back to breakout room 1.